Well, the president says the U.S. and China have agreed to a new trade deal. While early this morning, Beijing confirmed some of the details of the framework, which looks to allow rare earth exports and ease restrictions. A final agreement doesn't seem to be done. Now, this is what the president told reporters yesterday.
Do you remember a few months ago, the press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China.
And for more on this, we've got CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand at the White House. Natalie, good morning. So what do we know about this trade deal? Is it final yet?
Good morning, Michael. We don't have a lot of clarity or details about what exactly was signed, as the president said there. When asked for clarification, a White House official told us that the administration and China agreed to what they said was an additional understanding for a framework to implement that original agreement that was reached in May during talks in Geneva. But again, this is very vague, without details. A White House official says it does have to do with export controls. We know that the administration was putting pressure on China to free up those critical minerals, rare earth minerals and magnets, so important in electronics and car manufacturing, military equipment. China, in a statement, said that the U.S. will cancel what it called was a series of restrictive measures taken against China and hoped that the two countries would meet halfway. We know during the most recent talks in London, China was also worried about student visas for Chinese students, also advanced chips. So again, we'll have to wait and see whether those were the topics in focus and this additional understanding. But again, it goes to show, Michael, how complicated these trade negotiations are. And when you think about it, the big picture, we're coming up on that July deadline, you know, when the administration weeks ago said that it would have 90 deals in 90 days. So far, we have that deal announced between the U.S. and the U.K., this agreement with China, but really not a whole lot else, although the president did say that a deal with India would be coming soon. They've also been saying that, Michael, for weeks.
Still pretty far off from 90, though. Natalie, I want to ask about another headline. Trump officials finally briefed senators on the Iran strikes. What are lawmakers saying about just how successful those strikes were?
It depends who you ask. We're still seeing a lot of division, mostly along party lines. Republicans coming out of that briefing saying that these strikes were successful. Democrats saying they still have a lot more questions and concerns for the administration. Take a listen to some of the reaction coming out of that briefing.
I walk away from that briefing still under the belief that we have not obliterated the program. The president was deliberately misleading the public when he said the program was obliterated.
They blew these places up in a major league way. Major league setback, years, not months.
But Senator Graham there, obviously still a close ally of the president, also acknowledged that the problem isn't over when it comes to Iran's potential nuclear ambitions. And if you think back to just a couple of days ago at NATO, President Trump said that perhaps a nuclear agreement wasn't necessary anymore. Well, even Republicans are saying, you know, what is the long-term strategy here? The president also suggesting that U.S. officials would be speaking to Iran perhaps next week. The White House says nothing right now is scheduled, but Special Envoy Steve Witkoff continues to try to remain in close contact with Iran, including through these critical intermediaries such as Qatar, Michael.
All right, Natalie Brand at the White House. Thanks.